बंगाल तृणमूल को राम कार्ड दिखाने जा रहा है।
डर के साथ इस तृणमूल कांग्रेस की सरकार को उठाकर फेंक दीजिए।
ওয়াশিং পাউডার ভাজপা এই তো হয়ে গেছে আজকাল। কালোটা সাদা আর সাদাটা কালো। তোমরা বেছে নিয়েছো ভালো।
মমতাজি এত ভয় কেন?
কোনদিন অফিসে চলে আসছে, কোনদিন ওই আরেকটা মিনিস্টার চলে আসছে, কোনদিন চারটা ঘন্টা 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 সব চলে আসছে।
আমরা আসল পরিবর্তন চাই।
আরে বাংলায় পরিবর্তন হবে না, বাংলায় তৃণমূল কংগ্রেস থাকবে। পরিবর্তন দিল্লি में होगा।
पूरा बंगाल एक स्वर में कह रहा है और नॉय नॉय।
We have Mamata Banerjee. That's why we say, bring it on. Khala hobe.
ममता दीदी मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, खेला होवे निश्चय ही होवे।
Bengalis love their politics, they love fierce battles, and this is going to be the biggest battle of them all in recent times. That's the battle for Bengal. There are lots of differences between the TMC's fight with the BJP this time from the earlier TMC fight with the left. Never before has Ram been pitched opposite Durga. Never before has it been Jai Shri Ram versus Jai Siya Ram. Never before have Rabindranath Tagore and Netaji Subash Chandra Bose and other icons of Bengal occupied center stage in the battle for the state. Over the next half hour, I'm going to analyze why this election is now all about the insider-outsider track. Why is it about usurping the Bengal legacy or the Bengali asmita?
As we enter the former French colony of Chandra in Hooghly, there are almost no remnants of the vicious fight between Mamata and Dilip Ghosh over Ram Navami celebrations and Ram in 2017. That was the year it all began, and things have never been the same again in the state. Mamata Banerjee was returning to Kolkata when her cavalcade was interrupted by chants of Jai Shri Ram. An angry Mamata got down from her car and snapped at the boys for abusing her. It gave Dilip Ghosh, who was a member of the Hindu Jagran Manch, a slogan that Mamata uses Ram as abuse. And therein was born the BJP's Hindutva agenda. Dilip Ghosh rose to become the state BJP chief, and Chandra became the location for the first BJP office.
हमने तो 35 साल पहले जय श्री राम की नारा दी थी राम मंदिर आंदोलन के समय, और पूरा देश दिया था, हम भी उनके साथ थे। बंगाल में भी उसी प्रकार रामनवमी होती है, लोग जय श्री राम नारा लगाते हैं, लेकिन उसमें नाराजगी की क्या कारण है? लोग खुशी से बोलते हैं, लोगों को लेकर जेल में डालना, लोगों को लाठी से पीटना, इसके कारण आज गांव-गांव में लोग जय श्री राम बोल रहे हैं। हम नहीं बोल रहे हैं, हम शुरू किए थे, लोगों ने इसको एक्सेप्ट किया, और गांव-गांव में बच्चे महिलाएं सब जय श्री राम की नारा लगा रहे हैं। लोगों को लग रहा है कि यहाँ राम राज्य की जरूरत है। जय श्री राम बोलने से कोई प्रभोग होता है? मुझे तो नहीं लगता है देश में ऐसा कुछ होता है। हाँ ठीक है, आपको पसंद नहीं है, आप जय बांग्ला बोलते हैं, हमें तो कोई प्रभोग होता नहीं है।
But Chandra was just the beginning.
Breaking the serenity of this former French colony of Chandra is the fierce battle which is now taking place between the TMC and the BJP. Largely seen as a stronghold of the Trinamool Congress, the BJP began to make inroads on the issue of the celebrations of Ram Navami and the Ram Mandir. That's exactly going to be the pitch of the BJP in West Bengal for the state's elections as well.
What began in Chandra over chanting of Jai Shri Ram slogans soon became a part of the BJP's poll pitch, to make the point that Mamata Banerjee was anti-Hindu, and all she cared for was Muslim appeasement. So much so that party cadre, every political leader of the party, began their speeches by chanting Jai Shri Ram.
जय श्री राम।
तो मेरे साथ दोनों हाथ उठाइए और गगनभेदी नारा लगाइए, जय श्री राम।
When Mamta was presenting the last budget of the Bengal Assembly, she was interrupted by Jai Shri Ram slogans in the State Assembly. There was chaos and Mamta lost her cool.
কিন্তু আমি জানি না বিজেপির এই মেম্বাররা কিছু পারে না, কিছু জানে না। বাজেটটা পর্যন্ত আমরা তো বলছি আপনারা আসুন, শুনুন, তর্ক করুন, বিতর্ক করুন।
Giving the BJP a chance to ask, "Why are you angry, Didi?" Or as the PM asked at the Brigade Parade Ground rally,
दीदी इतना गुस्सा क्यों? राग क्यों दीदी? ये तो राग क्यों दीदी?
You can use whatever slogan you want. When you use intimidatory tactics, that is the problem.
Bengalis' Durga worship is legendary. Keeping this in mind, Mamta asked, "Why Jai Shri Ram? Why not Jai Siya Ram? Why not take Sita's name before that of Ram?" By raising this point, she was also reaching out to the 49% women vote bank. But Mamta knows that the Ram Mandir narrative could work in the state. North Bengal is under BJP control, and some are upset about Mamta's minority appeasement, resulting in just a few benefiting from her schemes. She ensured that Durga Puja was held in full swing during lockdown, with large amounts of funding to those who organize them. They are a powerful and influential vote bank. Secondly, TMC decided not to be provoked by Jai Shri Ram, keeping the focus on development and what they called real issues.
The specific reason why the BJP will try to deflect this and find some other story to write, because on these issues of development, which are the real election issues about jobs, about 85,000 kilometers of roads built in Bengal, about water, about electricity, that's where the Mamata Banerjee government has done considerably better than any other Indian state. So the BJP will try and deflect this into some other issue. That's a devious kind of story they will try and tell. They want to divide this country in this particular way. And what are we saying? We're saying no.
Political observers say the Ram issue may not be beneficial for the BJP in Bengal, despite the party rising from a 2 MP party to winning 18 seats in the 2019 Lok Sabha poll.
I would imagine that Mamata Banerjee sort of overdoes this, her anger about Jai Shri Ram. She should have ignored it as a seasoned politician. As a Bengali, for me, Ram Mohan is more important than Ram. I am not interested in Ram because Ram, in some ways, the treatment meted out to Sita is not something that goes with my Bengali thought process.
An average Bengali voter would think like that, don't you think? Yeah,
of course they do. Of course they do.
বলবেন হিন্দু ধর্ম নিয়ে আমার সাথে কম্পিটিশন করতে।
But it's clear too that Mamta doesn't want the BJP to score on religion. So when she went to Nandigram for the first time after announcing her candidature, Mamta told the crowd, "I am a Hindu girl."
আমিও হিন্দু ঘরের মেয়ে, আমার সাথে হিন্দু কার্ড খেলতে যাবেন না।
Also reciting the Chandi part.
ওং জয়ন্তী মঙ্গলা কালী ভদ্রকালী কপালিনী দুর্গা শিবা ক্ষমা ধাত্রী সাহা সদা নমস্তুতে।
Not just this, she visited temples before filing her nomination. Bengal and Bengalis love Durga and her avatars, but it's also a fact that Ram Navami has always been celebrated with fervor. It's the day when Bengali mothers pray for the well-being of their sons. In Chandra, many are not impressed by this. They tell us religion is a private affair, not for politicization. Interestingly, Chandra is known to be the bhumi of an avatar of Durga. Ram is overshadowed by the fervor for Durga.
This is not an important factor because we always love to each other, we always respect to each other. There is a community matter is not a matter.
এখানকার ডেভেলপমেন্টটাই তো হচ্ছে মেন, আর আমরা যাতে সুযোগ সুবিধা পাই অলওয়েজ সেইটাই আমরা চাই।
हम कोई भी धर्म कर सकते, कोई मैटर नहीं है, राम हो रहीम हो कोई भी हो, तो कोई मैटर नहीं। मैटर ये है देश के लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं वो जरूरी है।
नहीं, हम लोग का वोट देने का मतलब है कि डेवलपमेंट, हम लोग का डेवलपमेंट चाहिए, बाकी और किसी हम लोग का मतलब जो डेवलप करेगा हम लोग का सिटी को, बंगाल को, हम लोग उसी को वोट देंगे।
Young voters have a similar refrain.
সাম্প্রদায়িক শক্তির বিরুদ্ধে বাংলা যুব সম্প্রদায় যারা আছে এক হয়ে লড়াই করবে, সেটাই আমরা আশা রাখি।
আমাদের কাছে মানুষটাই আগে, নো জাতপাত ধর্ম বর্ণ কিছুই না, মানুষই বড় কথা सबसे।
हमने सीए का कानून पारित किया है, आप सभी को नागरिकता देने का काम भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार संभालेगी।
NRC and CAA find some resonance in BJP strongholds like Kuch Bihar, where there is anger with the easy inflow of Bangladeshi immigrants. The BJP knows that the Ram issue unnerves Mamata Banerjee, and for them, this is the starting point.
The moment she said that Jai Shri Ram is a gali, there was a reaction. Now, Mamata Banerjee, far from sort of retreating from that position, has kept on that tirade and viewing Jai Shri Ram as some sort of abusive, as a form of abuse. Now, what has happened as a consequence of all that is that Jai Shri Ram in West Bengal does not have a religious connotation any longer. Jai Shri Ram has become a slogan of protest against Mamata Banerjee.
When we return, the role of Rabindranath Tagore and Netaji.
In 2000, the left government had proposed that Bangla should be made official language. It was at that point when the state government was also dealing with falling revenues and a near economic crisis. Political observers point out that state governments often use these nuances to divert attention, knowing fully well that Bengalis love their icons. Which is why perhaps the BJP, despite an open and strong pitch for development or a Sonar Bangla, also understand that perhaps the best way to woo a Bengali is to remind them of their legacy and their past.
The 125th anniversary of Netaji Subash Chandra Bose was one of the many events used by the BJP to show it recognizes Bengal's icons. Many Bengalis feel Netaji has been denied his place in history. Both the Congress and the TMC have been blamed for not doing enough to ensure Netaji occupies a central role in India's freedom saga. The first step was made with the declassification of the Netaji files, and with BJP leaders pushing for an inquiry into the mysterious death of Subash Chandra Bose. Not just Netaji, the PM's visit to Belur Math, his address at the convocation of the Vishwa Bharati University, all underline the fact that the BJP wants to negate the outsider tag which the TMC attaches to it. It's also counter-questioning. Why did Didi neglect the icons? Why is she remembering them now with elections around the corner? For the first time, Belur Math saw PM spending the night there. He paid tribute to Swami Vivekananda, who holds a special place in the heart of proud Bengalis, and is also seen as a youth icon, which suits the BJP's plan to woo the youth.
स्वामी जी की वो बात हमें हमेशा याद रखनी होगी जब वो कहते थे, अगर मुझे 100 ऊर्जावान युवा मिल जाएं, तो मैं भारत को बदल दूंगा।
The BJP counters the charge of the Congress and TMC that it's using these icons to make it feel at home.
Anyone who's familiar with the BJP's history would know that as far as Swami Vivekananda is concerned, as far as Shyama Prasad Mukherjee is concerned, in fact, the whole range of icons who today the left calls Hindu nationalists emanated from Bengal. So that to my mind is a complete falsification of history, but it was born out of electoral compulsions of Mamata Banerjee.
Thakurbari, or the home of the Bard of India, Rabindranath Tagore, stands silent, untouched by the politics. Some say that the PM with his flowing beard and draped shawl is reminiscent of Tagore. A photo of the PM with a peacock at his official residence went viral, with many comparing it to a similar picture of Tagore. The BJP, though, underplays this, and those living near Thakurbadi discount it.
रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर हुआ, सुभाष चंद्र बोस हुआ, वो अलग चैप्टर हुआ, वो हम लोग के संस्कृति में है, और पार्टी पॉलिटिक्स अलग हुआ।
ये अपने आप को मुद्दा बना रहे हैं, बंगाल का गेम खेल रहे हैं। ये गेम खेलने का नहीं है। देशभक्ति है तो वो उसको अपना तरीके से करे, इसको पॉलिटिकल इशू नहीं लाना चाहिए।
It's of course believed that the way to a Bengali's heart is through Tagore, Bankim Chatterjee, Satyajit Ray. The BJP doesn't have a tall Bengali leader to match up to or counter Mamata Banerjee. So it realizes the next best thing is to claim that it has antecedents in Bengali leaders. For example, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, who they term as the RSS founder. To shrug off the outside attack, the BJP makes the point that these icons are not limited to Bengal, and that only a national party like the BJP can give them a national perspective.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की स्थापना के मूल में ही बंगाली चिंतन है। भाजपा वो पार्टी है जिसकी स्थापना की प्रेरणा बंगाल के महान सपूत डॉक्टर श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी की है। भाजपा वो पार्टी है जिसके विचारों में बंगाल की महक है। भाजपा वो पार्टी है जिसके संस्कारों में बंगालों की सुवास है, बंगाल की परंपरा की सुवास है। भाजपा वो पार्टी है जिसके डीएनए में बंगाल का सूत्र है। भाजपा वो पार्टी है जिस पर बंगाल का अधिकार है।
Political analysts rebuffed the BJP's claim that Shyama Prasad Mukherjee is an ideologue connected to the BJP and RSS.
Even Shyama Prasad, don't forget, he may have been a pioneering figure of Hindutva politics in India, but he joined Fazlul Huq's government, the Muslim League Fazlul Huq government. The point is, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was both in Bengal's Muslim League government and then in Nehru's Congress government. So Shyama Prasad Mukherjee may have been a pioneering figure in Hindutva politics, but he was not a goal worker.
Undaunted, the BJP is aggressive on this agenda. Home Minister Amit Shah stepped in to make the point that previous governments, including the TMC, have ignored icons like Khudiram Bose, Raj Bihari Bose and Netaji.
ये मेरा सौभाग्य है वीर शहीद खुदीराम बोस के जन्म स्थान पर आकर यहाँ की मिट्टी को कपाल पर लगाने का मुझे सौभाग्य मिला है।
In February this year, when Amit Shah visited Bengal, he promised a cycle yatra in the memory of these leaders, hoping to reach his message to every corner of the country. As the PM paid tribute to Netaji or even Tagore, the TMC sneered.
If you want to make a point, then you must know that Rabindranath Tagore was not born in Shantiniketan. Then you must know who wrote Saurashpat. Then you must know that Birsa Mundaji's statue was, what does he look like to go and garland the wrong statue? Then you must know about all this.
फैक्ट क्या कहता है? ममता बनर्जी 2015 साल में 18 सितंबर नेताजी का जो कलकत्ता पुलिस के पास फाइल्स था वो डिक्लासिफाई किया, उसके बाद मोदी जी ने किया, पहले ममता जी ने किया। ममता बनर्जी आने के बाद ना हर कलकत्ता का सिग्नल पे रविंद्र संगीत बजता है। सिर्फ रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर की तरह दाढ़ी रखने से रविंद्रनाथ नहीं हुआ जा सकता। मोदी जी का दाढ़ी बढ़ रहा है और जीडीपी उल्टा तरफ जा रहा है, तो दाढ़ी रखने से रविंद्रनाथ नहीं होता, नेताजी की तरह टोपी पहनने से भी नेताजी नहीं होता।
But does this obsession with icons work for any party? The BJP did well in the Lok Sabha polls without using it as a plank. But are assembly polls any different?
This Bengali identity thing is a very important thing. You cannot wish it away. And at the end of the day, the BJP, when they, starts, they don't have a Bengali leader at the end of the day. The fact that this BJP is suddenly trying to uphold Bengal's cultural tradition is not just election driven, it's 4D.
Maybe, but the BJP's narrative on icons forced Mamata Banerjee to sit up. Her budget presentation had several announcements which made the BJP smirk. She announced that she would build Azad Hind Bhavan in Kolkata, Jai Hind Bhavans in every district, and a state planning commission named after Subash Chandra Bose. with over 215 crore rupees earmarked for these projects.
আমরা নেতাজির 125তম জন্মবর্ষে তার প্রতি শ্রদ্ধার্ঘ্য হিসেবে রাজ্যের জনগণের পক্ষ থেকে নিউ টাউনে একটি আজাদ হিন্দ স্মারক নির্মাণের প্রস্তাব রাখছি। এছাড়া আমরা প্রতিটি জেলায় নেতাজির জয় হিন্দ ধ্বনিটিকে চিরস্মরণীয় করে রাখতে একটি করে জয় হিন্দ ভবন নির্মাণ করব।
बंगाल की जनता तय करके बैठी है कि चुनाव के मैदान में आ जाओ, इस बार बारी कमल की तरफ।
Not just this. After Amit Shah's visit to Bolpur, Mamata Banerjee went there as well, walking for 4 kilometers with a portrait of Tagore.
একবার প্রতিবাদের ভাষাকে জোরালো করবার জন্য, জোরদার করবার জন্য আজকে বোলপুরের এই রাঙামাটিতে আমার আশা।
Singing Rabindra Sangeet to painting Tagore, Mamata Banerjee is trying to make the point that these icons are part of Bengal. It's the outsiders who remember them during polls.
Our problem with outsider is that those like Modi, Shah and their 22 cabinet ministers, they are only coming here like bloodsuckers to suck votes out of Bengal. That's the issue.
6 साल पावर में रहने के बाद सिर्फ इलेक्शन से पहले वाला जो बर्थडे है नेताजी, उसमें विक्टोरिया मेमोरियल पर आकर अगर आप लोग सोचेंगे कि बंगाल को लुभा लेंगे तो वो बहुत गलत बात है, क्योंकि मोदी जी ये समझ लीजिए, ये बंगाल 6 नोबेल प्राइज दे चुका है इस देश को। इस बंगाल को मूर्ख मत समझिए।
At the end of the day, it's the voters who decide who they want to vote for. Politicians, of course, will try every strategy in place. Bengalis, of course, like their icons. They like their past, they like their legacy. But would that be enough to win this battle for Bengal? Over the last half hour, I've been trying to get you a sense about the new poll icons in the state in this battle for the elections. Thank you for watching us.